We arrived at our new base in Raiden, England at a little after midnight on December 1, 1943. Raiden was near Colchester, an industrial town, so we witnessed Colchester being bombed almost nightly. On Christmas Day, we all assembled in the mess hall to hear our squadron commander tell of our role in the coming invasion of Europe. I can still hear him say, "Only 1 in 4 of us will make it home." On December 29th, I left for London to attend a RAF radio school. We lived in a former apartment house in South Kensington. Most of the windows had no glass when we got there. Our instructor was Tommy Farr, who reminded us almost daily that his cousin of the same name was the famous boxer. On February 2, 1944, we were transferred from the 9th Air Force to the 8th Air Force and moved to a new base at Leiston. In the back is Ritter, Elmer Moen, and Elmer Clark. In the front is Jerry Anderson. Elmer Clark lives in Canandaigua, New York, where we stayed one night when I bicycled across America. After dinner, we were able to have a few hours together, the first we had seen each other in over 47 years. In front of our Neeson hut, some of the 363rd Fighter Squadron communication crew, John Smuda, Elmer Clark, Jerry Anderson, me, and in front, Tuffy. 363rd Communications Officer, Lieutenant Reynolds. Time to clean around my cot. Jerry Anderson and me, and in the background, Jake Edelman. This picture was taken on Christmas Day, 1944. Shortly after our arrival in Leiston, I was transferred to Group Headquarters as Group Communications Chief in charge of the base communications. These are a few pictures from the control tower. I was responsible for some equipment in the control tower, as well as a transmitter station, a receiver station, a direction finding station, and a direction finding station in Woodbridge, and an emergency field 14 miles away. The transmitter station and the receiver station looked identical from the outside, but were located about a mile apart. You can see the mobile units parked behind the brick structure, which allowed us to operate on 6 different frequencies simultaneously. That's my GI issue bike out in front there. The transmitter tower. Looking down on the transmitter station from atop the tower, whenever we had a frequency change, it was necessary to climb the tower to change the dipoles. Climbing was achieved by climbing on long bolts that protruded from one leg of the tower. It was about a 95-foot climb. I had 35 men in my section, and there was only about 4 who would chance the climb. I have always enjoyed climbing, so I usually did it, and many times I went up just to take pictures or to watch a mission take off. The transmitter station. The receivers. Power panel with battery charger. We could operate solely on batteries if needed. Direction finding equipment to guide planes home in all kinds of weather and conditions. The control tower panel. We were located on the North Sea coast and were the first airfield a pilot might find on his way home from a mission. As a result, it was not unusual to have a crippled plane land or crash land on our field. This is a B-17 coming in for an emergency landing. The Andersons lived off base just behind the 363rd line area. Mrs. Anderson did my laundry as well as a couple others during our stay in Leiston. The house was owned by the owner of the farm, and Mr. Anderson worked on the farm. That's me, and then some pictures from home. May 21, 1944, 4 generations. My grandmother Schalick, my father holding Suzanne Sharp, and my sister Harriet. Harriet and Suzanne. Brenda with Harriet and Suzanne. Suzanne with Uncle Francis. Suzanne's First Christmas, 1944. Suzanne and Albert Sharp. Suzanne and Nadine, first birthday, April 13, 1944. Picture of the new Centerton Bridge. Looks like Suzanne is out for a stroll on the new bridge. My mother visiting Francis in Avon Park, Florida. My mother, Francis home on leave.
Here's a toast to the host of those who love the vastness of the sky. To a friend we send a message of his brother men who fly. We drink to those who gave their all of old, then down we roar to score the rainbow's pot of gold. A toast to the host of men we boast, the Army Air Corps. Off we go into the wild blue yonder, climbing high into the sun. Here they come, doing the beat our thunder. Attaboy, give it a gun, give it a gun. Now we dive, running a flame from under, off the ground, hell of a roar. We live in flame, or go down in flame. Hey, nothing to stop the Army Air Force. toast to the hopes of those who love the vastness of the sky. To a friend we send a message of his brother men who fly. We drink to those who gave their all of old, then down we roar to score the rainbow's pot of gold. A toast to the host of men we boast, the Army Air Corps. Off we go into the wild blue yonder, climbing high into the sun. Here they come, soon to be our thunder. Attaboy, give it a gun, give it a gun! Now we dive, running a flame from under, off the ground, hell of a roar. We live in flame, or go down in flame. Hey, nothing to stop the Army Air Force.
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found. Was blind, but now I see. 'Twas grace that taught my heart to fear, and grace my fears relieved. How precious did that grace appear the hour I first believed. Through many dangers, toils, and snares, we have already come. 'Twas grace that brought us safe thus far, and grace will lead us home.
We could get away once in a while for a weekend in London or elsewhere. One Saturday, George Partridge and I pedaled out into the country and stayed overnight in this cozy little country inn. following pictures are of the chateau, the chapel, the servants' quarters, and a staircase with a family tree painted on the wall. Soon after we took off the next morning, a blinding snowstorm forced us down again at Orly Field in Paris. We bunkered in an old factory for 2 nights and returned home on January 11th, 4 days after our one-day trip started. This is our plane at Orly Field in Paris. It was a UC-64 Norseman. The only racetrack open in England during the war was at Newmarket. It was about 60 miles from our base at Leiston. George Partridge and I several times hitchhiked on our bikes to the races. By hitchhiking with our bikes, we were hoping an empty GI truck would come along and pick us up. Sometimes that happened. These pictures were taken at the St. Leger race, a big day in England. Southwold was a 13-mile bicycle ride from the base. It was a nice seashore resort on the North Sea. It was a favorite spot for a weekend or just a half-day trip for lunch and some local beer. On the steps to the beach. I recently found these unused tickets. My Scotch blood is greatly disturbed that they were wasted. My barracks, the mess hall, the hangar, and another hangar, and the control tower and headquarters, and a view from the control tower, a German FW-190 on the taxiway, and an experimental German plane with an engine and propeller in front and rear. The same plane in flight. Home at last. It felt so good.